So the reason why this area is important for this upcoming date is because of where Earth is going to be. Remember, this star here is Deneb Algety. Deneb Algety. Right there. Earth is going to be right here. Believe it or not, Earth is going to be right there from, if we go to, we can actually go to a different planet here. Let's go to Mars. And at the same coordinates on Mars, boom, here we are. We're going to get rid of the atmosphere and the horizon. There's no ecliptic, so we have to find our spot. Here we are. And look at this. We have the Earth, Venus, and the Earth, right next to Deneb Algety. This is thanks to the channel 7711. He showed us all this, and I happened to watch it. And this was amazing. I had no idea you could actually go to a different planet in Stellarium and see where Earth is. Well, Earth is right here at on 6/11 at 6:30 in the morning. 6:45. It won't be much different. Right there, won't be much different. Central Time. So it'll be 7:45 in Eastern, and then 4:45 in Los Angeles. It's going to be here right by the Star of Sacrifice. Now, why is this called the Star of Sacrifice? Well, let's go back. We're going to go back to Earth. Get rid of the dot and dot again, and find our spot again, which is here. Okay. It's interesting that this is called the Star of Sacrifice. When it aligns to going up, it aligns to Delphinus and the swan, the body of the swan or the neck of the swan, when Deneb is all the way out here, past Aquarius. Another weird thing about this is how Deneb Algety, the Star of Sacrifice, is positioned at the exact same spot as the wealthiest nakshatra. Indian Vedic. Right here. The wealthiest nakshatra. The nakshatra of wealth. Which is very weird. How the Star of Sacrifice, which in a previous video showcased an alignment where there was a major attack on regular people, how this could be the wealthiest nakshatra. Well, we're going to explore that. Along with the fact that Deneb Algety, the last star of Capricorn, you also have another Deneb up here. This is the traditional main star, as I've known it, Deneb, and that's called. See over here, it's just called Deneb, but there are suffixes. It's called Deneb. It can be called Deneb Arided, Deneb Aridif, Deneb Ariof, Deneb Eladij, Deneb Cygni. So this traditional Deneb has all these other suffixes to it, but it's just considered the first and most bright Deneb. Let's look at the etymology of Deneb. So Deneb. The bright star in the tail of the constellation Cygnus the Swan. Nothing to do with Capricorn. Cygnus the Swan. To mean, from the Arabic, al-danab, al-dajaja. The hen's tail. Danab. Al-danab. Deneb is danab. I ask you to remember that, because there will be something to point out later. Danab. Let's look at other meanings. Oxford English Dictionary. Not much here. Etymology. Arabic. Dajaja means the hen. So here, dajaja means the hen. But deneb is al-dajaja. So this thing, is it deneb or is it dajaja? Here is saying dajaja is the same thing as denab. Well, basically, deneb is basically the tail. So deneb means tail. Doesn't mean dajaja, like this thing says. In Chinese astrology, it was known as the celestial hen. Okay. In Arabic astrology, the asterism was known as al-difra, which represented the tail of the swan. So deneb means tail, not hen. People get paid to write these things. Now, I'm going to go into the history of the characteristics of Dhanishta. So, Dhanishta is a Mars nakshatra. Every planet or every graha has 3 nakshatras assigned to them. Okay, as here we see the first 9. Each one has each planet is part of this first 9, and then each planet is part of the second 9, and then each planet is part of this third 9. So that Mars, which is here in Mrigashira, number 5, this corresponds to 14 as well, because 4 plus 1 is 5. So 5 and 14 are also Mars, and then Dhanishta is at 23. So every number 5 nakshatra, 5, 14, and 23. 2 plus 3 is 5. Each one of these number 5 nakshatras in the progression becomes a Mars-based nakshatra. And Mars has to do with Mars-based nakshatras is based on the word for mer. And mer is maritime, water, and of course, water turns into people in the Bible. Anytime you see water, it means people in the Bible. And the reason why Mars applies to Mer is because of Scorpio, where Scorpio here is Mars ruled, and this is cold Mars, cold iron, cold blood, where your sexual drives are chilled. They are ice cold. They are fixed. The water is no longer flowing. It is fixed. It is as cold as iron. And I said this before, iron, especially when it's a flat sheet, it has a certain texture to it in the grain that makes it look like it's frozen undulation. And when there's a lot of it, um, it has a lot of mass and is momentum, and it pushes you almost, and it hits your water, and then your water inside of you moves. So it is a heavy mass of frozen water, and uh, what it means is in your blood, instead of you deciding to procreate, seek pleasure, or you decide to seek chastity, and chastity, that your blood, because being frozen, stops going down there and then starts filtering back into your system, all the way back to your head. This is the importance of Scorpio, of the eighth house. And this is why they assigned it. And this is why they assigned it to Mars, because of its sexuality, because of you chasing after something. Instead of you controlling it, they want you to keep chasing it in the mercenary, in the maritime consumer world that they present to you, because they want Mars to have the snake. Because Mars means it has the snake because it multiplies, is plural. So this is many, many waters. So this is just continuing on and on and on. They want you to, in the eighth house, they want you to decide to keep making babies, to put your business towards looking for someone else in life, towards your spouse, towards sexual encounters. That's what they want you to do here. So that's why it's called Mars. But if it was called Mer, you would think it's one-time water, and you can deal with one-time thing, but not if it's a continual, plural, everyday occurrence. That's just never ending. Okay, that's what they want you to think Mars is about. So, all Mars-based nakshatras are about coveting the most precious objects of the material plane. Let me make this, the first house, will make it Aries, just to make it line up. Okay, first house is cardinal fire, ruled by Mars. The eighth house is fixed water, ruled by Mars as well. I'm only bringing this up because Earth is going to be in Capricorn based on Mars's position. Because again, Mars, which is here, is in Leo. And opposite of Leo is Capricorn, the end of Capricorn, going into Aquarius, and Deneb Algedi is right here. The tail of the goat is right here. So Earth, from Mars's perspective, is right there. Two or three degrees in, and then 2 or 3 degrees in, right here. This is where Earth is compared to Mars. So that's why I'm bringing this up. So again, Mars-based nakshatras, Mrigashira, Chitra, and Dhanishta, are all based on coveting the most precious objects of the material plane. Mrigashira covets youth and the juices of ripened fruit, and that's youth. They covet this on account of the body. Another way of looking at it is this Mrigashira is you in the social world, conforming to social norms, because you have no will of your own here. This is all about you coveting youth, you exploring who you are without knowing who you are. This is you exploring the world through other people without knowing who you are.